What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Let me know in the comments down below how is the weather where you guys are living. Miserable here in the UK, raining all day and pretty cold actually. It almost feels like the winter is coming back. In today's video, guys, we're actually going to take a God mode Whisper and see what we can do with her in the endgame. We're gonna try her in some dungeons, Hydra, Chimera, because I'm very curious to see what damage we get out of her in there. Now, I have been waiting to get a 6-star soul for her for a very long time, and unfortunately, it seems like it's just not happening. I'm constantly keeping an eye on the soul merchant as well, but she's just not appearing no matter what I'm doing, right? So, at the moment, she's only at 5-star, but trust me when I'm telling you, the build is definitely God mode. And the blessing that I have on her is 5-star. Now, I went with Nature's Wrath just because there isn't much that will really help her a lot. In some cases, if I'm only going to get a couple of hits in, like dungeons, for example, yeah, Crushing Rand even at 5-star can actually work. But then, Hydra, Chimera, we actually need something else. Haven Cast is another viable option if we are able to keep up a lot of buffs on ourselves. So that could have been actually maybe a slightly better choice at 5-star than the Nature's Threat, because she only lands a debuff with A1. It's not a super high chance to do it. And it will take a bit of time to basically get it up and running. So we gotta land that weapon at least 5 times in a battle to really get Nature's Threat to work. Either way, I have her built on a Cruel and on a Merciless set. Total stats on her, guys, we have 8.9k attack, 216 speed, full crit rate, 372 crit damage. Now, to be honest, I would have preferred to get on her maybe a Zeal set or something, but unfortunately, I just don't have very good gloves, either from Merciless, either from the Zeal set, so I decided to go with what I have right here. I have a pinpoint banner on her, which is still attack. That's mainly just to give me a bit of extra accuracy to make sure I'm landing the debuffs. Now, I have an HP ring, unfortunately. It's not a main attack, but that's the only one that I have available from a Merciless set for this faction. So pretty nasty stats. Very curious to see how hard she's going to hit. The reason why I think that Whisper is the #1 best epic damage dealer for PvE in the entire game, of course, is because of the passive. Has a chance to grant an extra turn whenever this champion lands a critical hit and increases the damage inflicted on bosses by 20%. Now, in my case, because I already have, of course, the Great Hall Max for the Hydra clan boss, a Relentless set could actually work much better on her, because I'm most likely going to ignore that defense anyway, right? Or if I'm not that close to 100%, I'm still pretty close, actually. So, with the A3, attacks an enemy twice, grants an extra turn if the target is under defense down and weaken. With the A2, she self-buffs with increased attack and increased crit rate, and then attacks the target. If the target has higher max HP, it will basically put the buffs before attacking, and will ignore defense if the target is under a weaken debuff. We're going to make sure that's going to be the case. And of course, a chance to land weaken with the A1. We have an attack aura in dungeons. I do have a relic on her, which is the Cat's Gaze, and I have the legendary gemstone, the weather deals 10% more damage in dungeon battles, which is actually pretty damn helpful considering that she's really, really good at smashing bosses, right? The Cat's Gaze will allow us to ignore more defense. And the masteries are the following: offense and defense. I decided to go with Retribution to get a counterattack on. We have Helm Smasher on, Cycle of Violence, just kind of like the standard type of masteries. I really wish this would be a 6-star, but hey, at least she is empowered at +4, which definitely gives us a lot of additional stats. Enough with all the talking. Let's head into some dungeons. So I'm very curious first to go in the Dragon Slayer. Now, right here, to be honest, she's not necessarily the best champion for this dungeon because you want to have poisons, etc., or maybe even an enemy max HP. But I really think that she's going to outperform an enemy max HP champion that has a single hit. So let's actually change a couple of things in here. We're gonna drop Chimera. We're gonna drop her. I will keep one of the stealthesses in just to bring in some poisons. I'm gonna bring in Lydia. I'm gonna bring in, of course, Whisper. I do need to have some form of a reviver. Who should we bring in? Should we bring in a Duchess maybe? Let's bring in a Duchess. And I still need maybe something to do some AoE damage to help. Let's bring in Seer, just to help us to clean up after Whisper. Let's see what sort of damage we're gonna get from here. So was better if I was putting the attack aura, to be honest, instead of the defense one, but we're gonna roll with this as well. So we're just gonna buff first. I wanna see Whisper in action, and I'm gonna go versus this Venus. She is one of the tankiest on here. 334, 288, we got a kill, and then we're moving on to the next target. 589,000! Oh my god. Absolutely crazy. And keep in mind, we do not have a Battle Khazar, we do not have a Firald, we do not have a Gerptek in here to actually boost her damage even more. Now, yes, the build is God mode. That's basically what I wanted to see. What we can do with her in the endgame. So let's wipe this wave, move on to the next one, because I'm very curious to see what sort of damage we're going to deal versus the bosses as well. Versus the one boss that we currently have on. So A1, no weaken, unfortunately. You see, that's why I feel like Haven Cast would have been a better choice. At least I'm going to keep 4 or 5 buffs at pretty much all time on her, right? So that would have been most likely a better option. Like, what do we have? 6 buffs right here. I'm going to go straight for that Cardinal. 653,000. Crazy good damage. Crazy good damage. Seer, we don't want to kill the waves just yet. We want to see... My god, how many extra turns you're taking? Chill. Take a chill pill. Give some extra turns to my Whisper as well. Because we do have that 10% chance to proc extra turns. Now, that is one of the main things with her. She's not great for the clan boss because of all of the RNG with extra turns. And that's mainly for unkillable teams, right? Okay, no extra turn from the passive right there, which is fine. But we are absolutely demolishing these enemies. Absolutely demolishing them. So let's wipe the waves with Sia right there. Damn. I'm supposed to wait a little bit longer just to make sure we are able to put the block debuffs right there. But hey, that's fine. Let's get some buffs on. Get some healing. Life Drinker. And let's put the defense down as well. We have the weaken. Okay. Very curious to see how hard she's going to smack on the boss right now. We have defense down. We have weaken. So we should be able to actually do some serious damage. Okay. Are we ready? Let's see. 627, 621, extra turn. Bang! 1 million. 1.87, guys. And we gain that extra turn from the passive. A1, 422k. Crazy good damage. Like, what's that? We got like almost 3 million damage. A bit over 2.5 million. So not really 3 million, but really good damage versus a boss. Now, she shines the most in the Shogun dungeon, guys. So we're gonna head over to that dungeon straight after this fight. And I still want to try her even in arena, at least in a couple of fights, just to see can we smack a little bit. Even though I know she is mainly meant for PvE, but I still think she can do some job in there as well. So 5.1 million damage from Whisper, guys. Absolutely crazy. Now, if we're going to go on to the Phantom Shogun, I don't have a preset for this team. We are going to use, of course, her attack aura in dungeons by 29%. That is my team right there. I'm going to have to ensure that I'm manualing because I have no presets, as I've mentioned. There we go. Land the defense down, the weaken. We can just use the A1 right there. And we can go in ham with Whisper. So, A3, 480, 521, extra turn, and put this boss to sleep. 887k, guys. If we were gaining an extra turn, we could have probably bring in another 300-400k damage with a basic skill. 1.9 million, almost Turvold. 1 million because he only got a hit, which was the finishing hit. And yeah, I'm not trying to say that she deals more damage than Turvold or anything like that, because that Juggernaut skill is absolutely crazy. But for a freaking epic champion, she is absolutely demolishing. Keep in mind, my Turvold has a 6-star crushing run too. So, let's go again. 531, 659, 960k. Where is that extra turn? 987 from Turvold, and you're just wiping them off. Beautiful. 2.1 million damage from Whisper, guys. So, you can definitely use her together with a Cold Heart, together with a different champion to deal with this boss. Of course, I'm not expecting every single one of you guys to have stats on your Whisper, but I really wanted to see a God mode Whisper in the endgame. And to be honest with you guys, she's actually dealing crazy good damage. If I would have a 6-star crushing Grand, the damage versus that boss would be absolutely nuts. Keep in mind, I actually do not have that area bonuses maxed for the Shogun, right? I only have 4% ignore defense. So it's definitely not her maximum potential versus that boss. Now, let's head into the arena. I want to do 1 or 2 fights, guys. I'm just very, very curious to see what sort of damage we're going to deal in here. So, we have a decent team right there. I will require, of course, to bring in a champion to keep her alive. She's not built in a stone skin. She's easily going to get wrecked. So let's give it a go like this. I have no champions to strip stone skin from them either. Seems like we don't have to, which is good. So let's go with an ally attack versus Rotos. He's getting that extra turn. That's fine. Let's protect our Lazarius. And the moment of truth. Can we wipe that freaking UDK without defense down and weaken? 117k. He went down like he wasn't even there. Really good damage. And we had no defense down and weaken either, guys. Now, of course, she does have pretty crazy build. Let's take that Arbiter down. Okay. Swift parry. That's fine. Let's get the increased attack back on. And right now, we have no weaken on anyone or anything like that. So we're going to take that UDK down. 189k. 189k. Who said that she's not good for a PvP? I think she's actually smacking really freaking hard. My god, I might even change a bit the build on her to make her faster. And whenever we're doing like only epics in live arena with my clanmates, she's going to be my secret weapon because she's absolutely demolishing. My god. Let's actually try to find something a bit tankier. Something a bit tankier. This one right here could potentially be the one. I will require to bring in a lockout. If not, I'm gonna get wrecked by that Narcissus. Even like this, is still a very high chance to get wrecked by him, but hopefully it's not gonna happen. Okay. Okay, we stripped Stone Skin from some of them. So I'm gonna try to see what we can do versus that Ancora. 237k with the basic skill. What the heck, bro? Like, I was not expecting her to hit as hard in PvP, to be honest. Like, that is crazy good damage. Now, that Narcissus might actually kill her. And my freaking Lazarius is polymorphed. Thankfully, he went for Crixia. Ally attack on Armans. I was gonna say on Narcissus. For a second, I forgot that that's not gonna... Uh-oh. Another ship in here, okay. Let's see. Narcissus going down, baby. 167k, and that was only one freaking hit. Damn! Whisper can actually smack in arena. Without defense down and weaken, which are basically the main things that are enabling her to do crazy damage. So that's really, really solid. Now, we're going to go into the Hydra clan boss. We're going to go on Nightmare. Of course, I'm not going to save my key or anything like that. I will bring in just kind of like my standard team. I will bring in Mikage and recently used first. Let's bring her in. So curious to see how is she going to deal with the A1 when we have the ally attack from Theox. Very curious to see the damage in there. So we landed the weekend with her, beautiful. So we're slowly enabling that blessing on her. So what do we want to do here? We want to put the block buffs, defense down and weaken, provoke. A1, let's see. So 362, 493 from Theox and Whisper. 1.5 million. Ooh, baby. That's actually nasty. So let's see if we're going to go right here versus the Head of Suffering. 379, 360, extra turn. 778. That is, with both of the skills, almost, actually is at around 1.5 million damage, yeah. Really good. Plus, of course, we did not have all of the buffs from Feral on to basically make the most out of that protection. But still, we had 4 buffs on her, right? So that enabled the extra damage from Feral's passive. So let's see right here. 1.2 versus the Head of Suffering, which is super tanky. Really, really solid, actually. Let's get those buffs up and running. Let's do another basic skill. 819, and that's without Theox, guys. Really good damage, actually. I should put a decreased speed on the Decapitated Headman. Because right now we're about to wipe that one off. 1 million. We landed another weekend. Beautiful. Let's take the head of Rat down. Let's see. Can we? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think we have enough damage. 1.5 almost. Really good. So, now we're definitely going to take it down. 912, 673. And let's see right here. 1 million with the A2 skill. Now we got to make sure we're landing that defense down and weaken. This head is about to spawn. Let's apply some more debuffs because we want to go in with Theox in a second on a decapitated head. I have increased attack on her, but I only have 3 buffs, unfortunately. So Feral's passive will not actually proc. 3.6 with the basic skill. Now, of course, that's thanks to Theox, but either way, very, very good damage. 2 million without Theox. With the basic skill. Crazy good. Keep in mind that my Great Hall is max here, though, so let's not forget that. Because I tend to get pretty freaking excited, okay? I tend to get pretty freaking excited in here because the damage is actually crazy, crazy good. No need to provoke. Yeah, let's do another A1 in here. 619, a weak hit, and 3.1 million damage from Whisper. Damn, really good damage. Now, of course, a lot of people have Ninja. Ninja can definitely put up bigger numbers with a similar build. What is one of the advantages for Whisper is that she's Void Affinity. So, let's go versus this one. 1.7, 2 million with the A3 skill. And then move on to the A2, which gives 2.6, guys. That's what? 5+ million damage with the 2 skills in one quick cycle. Crazy, crazy good damage right here. In the endgame. Really, really good. So if by any chance you have good gear, you might have a Theox, maybe you're lacking a Toshiro, a Yasu, or some other big ballers, Whisper can actually really deliver crazy good damage for the endgame. But of course, a good build will help her a lot. Even if you don't have the craziest build, she's still going to outperform any other champion that's not a S-tier legendary or mythical champion. Because she has good multipliers and she has the passive. So really, really good. Turn 9, we have 44 million damage. Like, look at those basic skills, man. 2 million damage. Very good damage from her in the Hydra. 34.6. Theox 7.5. But of course, Theox did not use any AoE. Let's move on to the Chimera. Very curious to see in there as well. I actually never tried her in the Chimera. I will go on Nightmare, Ultra Nightmare, sorry. Even though I know that, actually no, let's go on Nightmare just to have enough accuracy to land that weaken, so we can actually enable the, freaking blessing. If she would have a 6-star crushing rand versus the Chimera, oh boy, oh boy. But unfortunately, we do not have that. So very curious to see if we're able to pull some crazy things with her. Let's land the debuffs. Defense down and weaken. And 257, 172, and that was without increased attack. I'm actually going to go with a basic skill right here. You see, we got resisted. Ooh, squishy counterattack, 100k, not bad. Now let's see once we're gonna buff her up and give her the increased attack. The crit damage. 451k with a basic skill. We landed one of the weakens. Beautiful. 762 with the A2 skill. Now, let me just tell you one thing. My Alice, not Alice, Alice or Alas, however you guys like to pronounce that, because you're always making fun of me with the mythical champion. He deals 2 million damage with his A2 skill after he does a lot of counterattacks. So that's kind of like the peak. 2.1, 2.2 sometimes. And that's with 6-star crushing rand. That's a mythical champion. Of course, he does bring different benefits to the fight, rather than just damage. Like, we have the HP burn, we have, of course, the block damage, the counterattack. But to be honest, seeing that my Whisper without a 6-star crushing rand can actually put up such good numbers is actually really, really impressive in my opinion. Like, look at that. We got almost 1.5 million damage. With a 6-star crushing rand, I think she would be just absolutely crazy. And Alice has a very strong build as well. So it's not like his build sucks or anything like that, you know. Come on, I wanna see a bit the A2 as well. 627k extra turn, 425k, beautiful. So she brings her own things to the table, which are the extra turns, which are really, really helpful, to be honest. Now, in some cases, you might be losing the buffs. Like right here, we actually lost the immunity, which might not be the best thing, but hey. Ally attack A1, 536k, extra turn. 326, 408, extra turn. 725, like, very solid actually. Really solid damage. And she's an epic champion. I mean, I wouldn't say I would use her in my team because I do have some nasty mythical champions. But damn, if you're progressing through the game, guys, and you're even towards endgame and you just don't have much better champions for this content, I feel like she can definitely be very helpful. Maybe you're fortunate enough, unlike me, to have a 6-star soul for her, a crushing rand. That will up her damage by so freaking much, guys. You have no idea. So definitely give her a go in here. I feel like she could potentially improve your team based on what champions you have available, of course. 157, 155k, of course, we had no increased attack on. 186, we landed the weaken again, and now we are actually slowly building up that blessing. I think we'll need to land it one more time or twice, and then we should be ready to have the passive, the blessing maxed in terms of how much damage we can deal because of it. A2, 657k. Definitely really good. Like, turn 4 and we already have 14 million damage. 488 with a basic skill from a counterattack, man. Really crazy damage, actually. And being Void Affinity, you don't have to always worry about different rotations and stuff like that, right? Now, if you have Marius, you have other crazy champions like that, of course, most likely, you're not going to look at using Whisper. If you have Newt, etc. But either way, I think she's a very solid option for a lot of a lot of players out there that might have her, and they're struggling to basically get a good champion to smash this boss. So, this is probably gonna kill her. Yep, as 284k, like, insta-racked. That's one of the main issue with all of the damage dealers versus this form, and to be honest, there isn't much you can do about it, because all of them suffer of this problem, especially if they don't have a way of staying alive, right? So let's do this. 631k, but hey, we're slowly building up all of these things right here, which is really, really good. And she can 1000% deal damage, so that's actually really impressive. And we have no great haul for the Chimera at the moment. Something like that can of course boost her damage even more, but that will work for all of the damage dealers, not just for her. So every single one of them will benefit from this. But really good damage from a Whisper even in the Chimera. When I'm running my main team with Alice, it's pretty much at around the same damage, maybe slightly less actually. And that's mainly because it takes him a while to stack his passive, where he gains a lot of extra defense. Look at that. 12 million damage, guys. 12 million damage. So, Whisper God mode, 1000% super viable in the endgame, guys. As I've mentioned, I know this is a crazy build, and a lot of you guys that don't have anything else better to do will be like, Skratch, every champion will deal damage with that gear. No, not every champion will deal damage with this gear. And you can actually take a gear set, the best gear set that you have available, put it on Seer, go on Seer on Whisper, go and see what damage she actually deals, and then move it to a different champion and try and see if that champion deals the same amount of damage. And I'm talking about some of the rubbish champions that you guys always think of when you're saying that, right? But either way, very, very impressed with Whisper, guys, in the endgame. Crazy good damage. As usual, appreciate all of you guys watching. This was basically a video to kind of like see her potential in the endgame and have a bit of a fun. Much love, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.